What are we doing? Part 2 up to 19, right? 11, 19? Or 11,
Um,
18?
well, Allie, I don't know. You never confirmed that, so I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I think I was at work, but yeah, I did read up to right before part 19 of chapter 11.
Okay, yeah, I read up to that part too.
All
Which,
right.
if
Go ahead.
uh,
Yeah.
You don't, you don't, you don't even know yet. But you
don't, but I have assumptions.
will want to hear.
Well, I mean, everything leading up to this point has basically said like someone's gonna die. My assumption, my strong assumption, because he's technically not essential, is Oi.
Aw.
And my heart would be crushed. I'm kind of hoping it's Susanna just because meh, eh. The other thought I had was Roland, just because it said he never thought it could be him.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, wait, it kind of can't be him because I feel like they would be like, yeah, all right, well, I'm going back to New York. Anybody got any jokes?
Well, I don't think they would at this point because everyone has said like, hey, even if you're not here, we're still gonna go to the Dark Tower.
Yeah, they say that, and I think he makes a point that who Eddie specifically says that several times. I'm going with or without you at this point, buddy.
Yeah.
But still, you know, without Roland, they might do it until it gets hard, and they'll be like, you know, how important is this again?
Yeah, but it's not like there's another door they can just go through.
Well, I mean,
Well, I
I
guess
don't know.
there
There
might
always
be
seems to be a
now.
door when one, doesn't there?
Yeah. Who knows what's at the castle or wherever.
Good old FedEx.
Yeah, FedEx.
There'll be a door and it'll work. And you know why? Because it has to.
Because Stephen King says so.
Oh, a little King Ex Machina.
Oh, yes.
I like that he finally like put that in there. He's like, "Have you heard of this concept before?"
I know. Like, you've been doing it the whole time, you fucker. He's got all kind of shit in here. Okay. So, wait, what does 1119 say exactly? Let's explore that situation.
What is
Well, I
that?
said we didn't read it though.
But I'm sorry, 18, not 19. No, don't read 19.
I wanted to, but I didn't.
I'll bet. I wanted to, and I didn't. But good news is I have 50 pages left of Fairy Tale. I'm almost there. I'm probably finished that tonight.
Finally. I feel like you've been reading Fairy Tale as long as we've been reading The Tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Amber, didn't we get Fairy Tale in Maine last year?
I believe so. Yes. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but yeah.
Good God, I hope it wasn't the year before. No, it wasn't the year before. I've been reading it that damn long.
I just can't. I mean, we do this like every year, so I don't remember.
I know, we get a Stephen King book in Maine. Like, he has the thing for September, so it works out. Maybe because it's his birthday. Isn't his birthday like September something? Some King file probably gonna yell at me for that.
17th for some reason. Yeah, something like that.
Hey, Google, when is Stephen King's birthday? 21st.
Ah.
Okay, so yes, I think I've been, and like I said, we started the Tower August 17th last year, so I have been reading it the entire time. Just not very fast, but I finally cracked through and it got interesting, and I'm like, okay, now I can, like, now it's getting kind of fun and stuff because there wasn't like the trouble started, like, it got interesting, like, he got into a bunch of shit, like, at the first like 200 pages he's just kind of like exploring, and it's like a Disney movie. He even says that. Like, I'm no Disney prince, god damn it. But because because all things serve the beam, I noticed they actually, one character said to another, go on, there's other worlds in this one. Said, oh, come on, you can't do that. And 2 or 3 different characters in this chapter I'm reading have twirled their fingers to tell somebody to hurry the hell up.
I mean, why? Why wouldn't you expect him to do that, though?
Yeah, well, is that just me because all things are tower now, or like, well, I guess there's no way to answer that. Because I was thinking about that this morning. Like, I get the people that are scared of the tower, and there's almost like I don't know, like you can be a different sect where you can be safe in your Stephen King fandom without ever experiencing the tower and be totally happy. Because once you go to the tower, all things serve the beam, man. Like everything he does is about the tower after that.
Yeah. Well, everything originates.
You can be totally happily. Would you say originate?
Well, I don't mean necessarily from the Dark Tower story, but it's like the Dark Tower is the nexus of the universe. So it's like, of course, everything comes from there and that world.
and you start seeing it everywhere. Every time somebody twirls a finger, I'm like, oh, come on. We know where that came from.
And wears blue chambray work shirts.
Well, I don't think that's a tower thing. That's just that's been going on since.
I meant as a Stephen King thing.
Right, yeah. Bombardier eyes.
Yeah.
I have not heard that one. I like that. I was reading Robin's book, and yeah, for the record, Allie, you can't read that.
I figured.
But we have much to discuss. This. I was telling Amber, I think we have to do an episode after we do the last part of the book, just on stuff. There's so much here. But Robin has a book. Yeah, but Robin has a bunch of stuff like discussion questions, I guess you'd say, not study questions, but. And she has her 2. I have to read them again to see if. Well, you can read them when we're done for sure. Never mind, that doesn't make sense. I was gonna say, when we're done, if it's safe to read them. I was like, well, wait a minute, no, I guess it would be safe.
There's no more spoilers after that.
Yeah, and that'll be our only required reading for the wrap up episode. Little Robin first. There's good stuff in there. So, let me get back.
A lot that happened in this section.
I don't. Does it? Yeah, well, yeah, I guess they did. To me, it's all like getting ready for the battle. So it was like, come on, nothing really happened. Like, I guess it actually did.
Well, but like part of this was them reuniting with, our good friends Shimi and Ted, for one thing.
Yeah, where did we leave off? I don't even fucking remember.
I think I was just trying to remember that too. Yeah, I don't remember what we read last time. I think we ended with Mordred killing Nigel.
I think.
Or was that this section? I don't even know.
Wait, did Mordred kill Nigel? I thought he just like crapped out.
I'm sorry, not. Oh no. Oh, that's not Nigel. That's Flag. So yeah, that was before that.
Yeah, he didn't kill the robot. He killed
Flag died. Or Walter Martin, whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. That's.
So I don't even know where we left off. Yeah.
All right, we'll just move forward. I'll just work on my highlighting and. So reunion. So, wait, no. Reunion was the end of the last part, right? Somebody in one of the things I was reading about the Dark Tower said that the only word in the high speech for burn is char. Is that true? That seems a little short-sighted.
Well, I mean, isn't that like translating a language?
Yeah, I don't know. They credit him with creating 2 languages, much like Tolkien created the Elven language. I'm like, well, wait, I couldn't speak the high speech based off of this. It's a little different. I think Tolkien, didn't he actually create nouns and verbs and how to speak Elfish and all that? Maybe you guys don't know. I think he did. Like Klingon, there's an actual nerds walking around speaking actual Klingon.
Yeah, but I'm not debating whether or not he actually created a language. I'm just saying, if you say there's only one, oh, that word means burn. It's like, well, yeah.
Well, I feel like English has like 45 words for everything. So maybe we're just like overkill. I cracked up. It actually took me a couple times when he's like, 3 old men, one of them with black mouth disease, which Eddie called cancer. Like,
Yeah,
can't what?
I had to read. I think I said it out loud. I was like, "Cancer." Oh.
And I think that's exactly what I did. When I said it out loud, I was like, oh, wait a minute, that sounds like cancer.
Yeah.
Allie just dropped. I guess she'll be back. Um,
I'm still trying to figure out where we left off.
I'm looking at the page and I can't tell you.
I'm guessing. Oh, well, we probably did up to part 2, right? So we start at chapter 1, part 2.
Allie's back.
Sorry.
Hey.
Well, yeah, yes, that's where we're starting. I don't remember where necessarily where we left everybody, but
I think they had just met back with each other. I was looking back, and that's why my phone went dark.
Yeah, they killed the Flaherty, the guard guy. That's like one of the last things they did.
They had just opened the door, yeah, to get through.
Yeah, he shot. I don't know, Tahine. I'm so confused the difference between Tahine and Cantoy anymore. I'm
actually less confused now. I feel like we got a lot of information in this section.
The Cantoy want to be humans.
Yeah, that I thought was weird. The Tahine, I think the humans are below them, but the Cantoy like worship them.
Yeah, and apparently they suck pus off of people's faces.
Yeah, that was gross.
And they want
that was hard. that kind of was. I was like, ew, that was so gross in a way that nothing else was. I don't know why. Something about pus, I guess. Sometimes I was like, oh my god, make it stop.
Mordred killing Walter was pretty gross for me too.
I'm just
gross is the word I would use. But...
Like, Walter Martin, Flag is probably my favorite Stephen King villain, and he did not deserve to die like that. Like, it just felt so anticlimactic. Like, come on, nothing?
Yeah.
Like, not a fight?
I wanted an interaction between him and Roland again.
Yeah,
like,
that
before
too.
he died. I wanted Roland to go him.
I feel like Roland was chasing that motherfucker for, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 300 years. And
maybe 500.
Yeah. And yeah, like why was there no fight? It would have been an amazing fight. Was he scared to write it? Like, oh my god.
Also, like, are we
because
really
Roland is resistant. Okay.
Resisting? I mean,
Roland is resistant to Walter's magic. That's why he's still alive mostly, I think.
Yeah.
So it would have been an interesting fight. Because like Martin can use his magic, Walter, who the fuck he is, to defend himself, but he can't attack Roland with it. So Roland, is shooting at the speed of light, and all he can do is just keep blocking them, so they can just do that. So it'd be an interesting fight. I'd be interested to see. Like,
or he'd have to
write it.
He'd have to influence other people around him again, like in Toll.
Like putting people in his way, yeah.
Well,
it even said it was like, they had come closer to killing him than they thought in the Green Palace. And I was like, oh, then let them finish the job. Like, that would have been so interesting.
Well, I thought it was surprising that, like, he was saying that Roland actually, like, he almost caught him. I was like, wait, what? You were ahead of him, though. Like, what is that? Like, and the whole thing about him, like, finding a bunch of bones and setting up a fake body. It was like, what? Like, so you're not I don't understand what that was supposed to mean.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that yet.
Maybe
but
to make Roland think that he was dead when he wasn't really, so that he would stop chasing him.
Yeah, but he also said he didn't kill him because Flag wanted But that was another weird thing. He said Flag wanted him to get to the tower so that it wouldn't be destroyed. And that's why he didn't kill him. I'm like, so then why did you try to trick him? Like, what? So he wouldn't kill you? I guess maybe.
It
Maybe?
makes it like he's got no magic. He's just like sleight of hand. He's just a trickster. There's no magic involved, which now I don't like him as much without magic. I gotta tell you.
I mean,
Well, like, I think
sure.
he does still have magic.
Yeah, I do too.
But all the shit he did to Roland was not magical. It was just, I don't know, situational, sleight of hand,
Well,
like with
he
the
said
bone.
it was technically magical because he was able to give him visions. He showed him levels of the tower. That was what made him like.
Was it him? Was it him? I don't even know what to call him. Was it him that did that?
Well,
Yeah.
that's what he says. Yeah, he says he showed Roland a few levels of the tower to hypnotize him, and then collected the bones.
And how would
Trust.
Walter Paddock as a Walter Paddock, who was, is that how they say it? Wait, what does he keep saying? Will Dearborn that was, Walter Paddock that was. Um, how did he underestimate fucking Mordred? Come on, I don't.
Yeah, that bothers me.
I think he would have stayed far away from that unstable motherfucker until he had a better idea, because it just seemed forced, the whole scene. Like, what was he even doing there? He wasn't supposed to fucking be there.
It doesn't really seem like Flag like was actually working with the Crimson King either. Like he said, like he was pretending to, but he does whatever he really wants. So it's like, why would you even check in on Mordred? Get away from
Yeah,
him.
he really turned him into Flag in this one too, didn't he?
I think he did. I think that's why I keep saying that.
Oh no, he did, and I think a lot in this part, like he was calling him Flag. Like it was kind of ambiguous, I guess, up to this point, I think. But now it's like, nope, he's Flag.
Yeah, like every
Yeah.
book except for this one, we were like, okay, Walter is Flag is whoever.
Right.
And I think he actually did clarify it in that section. He was like, okay, so Walter was Flag, who was Martin, but was not actually John Farson.
Yeah. Yes.
That guy, he's nothing, right? I thought he was a bad guy at one point. We never did get
And
to
he
meet
was
him.
in
Wizard and Glass.
yeah, Wizard and Glass.
No, yeah, I know. He's the good man. He's supposedly who the tittering guy was serving when he came to Magus. What was he doing in Magus? I can't remember. Oh, counting the oil derrick. Whatever. Walter went to Magus to talk to her Reimer, right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
The mysterious guy, I think, with a robe. I pictured him like a monk, maybe evil monk.
Yeah, like one of the mayor's like council.
Yeah. Fuck was my point? He was serving. He was supposed, in the name of John Farson, he was there when he went. And that
That was
before we knew he was Flag. So who put the thing in the bag and who left the bag in a vacant lot? Or the key, Jake chimed in. I found the key to the house in Dutch Hill in the same lot. Was
that
it the
rhetorical?
Rose? Did the Rose, I don't know, make them?
Sure. Stephen King is the Rose.
I mean, is he? I guess he
Well,
is on this. That shit gets all weird with the
Stephen
one.
King is to Rose as God is to Earth. Or universe.
Right? What am I taking? A fucking SAT now? Yeah, like Cy King left those signs and signals. Well, that makes it.
Of course he did,
Yeah.
because he wrote
Yeah,
this book.
he has a whole like paragraph here. The basic concept was that if a playwright got himself into a corner, he could send down the god who arrived in a flower-decked bucket wagon from overhead and rescued the characters who were in trouble. This no doubt pleased the more religious playgoers who believed that God, not the special effects version, who came down from some overhead platform the audience couldn't see, but the one who went in heaven really did save people who deserved it. He got a little wordy there.
That's what I was talking about at the beginning.
Right.
I'm like, thank you for explaining what Deus Ex Machina means.
So what God did he send down? Is that Shimi?
Well, no, all that's the key. The leaving the bag in the whatever. Those are all thingies. Deises.
Well, I think it's, well, right, but yeah,
What's
okay.
your question?
No, nothing. Yeah, they're talking about all those things that he left, basically, not one specific. I thought they were talking about after they got to Algul Siento, also known as what, the Devertois, I think.
Yes.
That's just made up words, right?
I mean, like I all of
Not,
those words I kind
some
of just don't
French
even read.
slang.
Like Devar, Tet, and Tet, like Devar, Dwar. I'm like, sure. They all go blank.
The god from the machine, who was actually the writer, patiently working to keep the character safe so his tale wouldn't end with an unsatisfying line like, and so the Contat was wiped out on Jericho Hill and the bad guys won. Rule Discordia, so sorry, better luck next time. Haha, the end.
Haha.
Well, that's kind of what he did, right? At least for Roland's first Contat. I guess you could have more than one Contat. As far as Cuthbert and Elaine, that's what happened to them. So sorry, they're dead. See you next time.
Haha.
Yeah, haha, Rule Discordia.
So sorry.
Yeah, I feel like.
But that's why I'm like, I'm okay with a lot of what's happening for the whole line of the story. But I'm like, in general, it just is a very lazy concept. And so I'm like, just write a better story. You don't need to write yourself a key if you have a better plot.
Yeah. Like there was something in there he called fluff at one point, like to fluff up the novel. I can't remember what it. I was like, oh, is that what you're doing? He's like giving away his like secrets like a magician.
I don't think it's a secret.
Well, no, but just I guess tricks of the trade. I guess you'd say some of the stuff he uses, like you know, when he goes for a walk and sits on the bench, he's like, all right, that It book is like cool and all, but I need to fluff it up a little. Like, hey, wait a minute, there's a what is it? The dairy standpipes right in front of me. Susanna, okay, I don't really understand this. This is some kind of one of his weird foreshadowing things. Chet Huntley saying that Stephen King had been struck and killed by a Dodge minivan while walking near his house. King bit 52, according to Brinkley, not Huntley. And Susanna told him that a great many things might have happened, or not at all. But as she was going to tell him that Stephen King was dead, Nigel was like, hey, what's up, guys? DNK 45932. So she didn't tell him that. They started talking to Nigel instead of her telling him Stephen King was dead. So this time, something which might have been spoken was not, and the Deus Ex Machina, which might have descended to rescue a writer who had a date with a Dodge minivan on a late spring day in the year of '99, remained where it was, high above the mortals who acted their parts below.
I'm sorry. I think what he is saying there is Stephen King is saying, look, I could have used it here, but I didn't. I'm like, I don't say that
Right.
at
What
all.
was he going to do? Like, yeah.
That wouldn't have helped them. They already know. They figured it out immediately. Like,
Why didn't he just unwrite getting hit by the minivan?
Maybe it's
because the
unavoidable.
writer doesn't know that's going to happen to him.
Or maybe that's what. Oh, maybe that's what it's saying. They don't know that she knows that he's dead. So,
but they do. Like I don't remember how it happens, but they don't take them very long to be like, oh, we got to save him.
well, they already know they have to save him, right? Or they're about to say that. Maybe they haven't said it yet, but
I don't think they have. That's why I'm like, who cares, King? I didn't even see that as an anything moment. Like to me, he's like pointing at it to be like, hey, look what I could have done and I didn't this time, huh? And I'm like, sure, I guess.
yeah, it's almost like when it all goes to shit, this is why.
That's not quite how I see it, but whatever. We can move on.
In the extraction room, she had been made mortal. Okay, didn't realize that. Oh,
yeah, we
and
did. We knew she was
Well,
mortal.
Yeah, she told us that.
oh, well, then I didn't remember that. Maybe I'm reading too many books at once.
That was the whole point of like maybe that's why she cared about being feelings and stuff because she's mortal for once.
Oh, I thought we were trying to figure out when she split away from Suzanne and became her own thing. We never really figured that out.
Those are two separate things. You can apparently you can be mortal and also possess someone.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with the rules. Oh, and in Fairy Tale, there's a big giant red cricket that got one of its legs shot off. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm definitely over spiders and things with legs like that.
Believe me too.
We're getting a bunch of spiders outside on the porch. Like, they're setting up some big ass webs. Hey, you know what? It's just close enough to Halloween that I might let you guys hang out for.
Just don't. If you see any red feet, look out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Spider-Man. If I see any that big, we got problems. Yeah, he's dying right away.
Dear God, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I might move if I see a spider that big. Jesus. But you can have it, buddy.
This is your house now, Spider.
Yeah, no problem. When we had the beam quake, what was that? The beginning of 6, right? That was not a beam letting go. I thought it was, and we had one beam left. Am I doing that wrong?
I thought that was beam 3. Like there's still 2 beams left, but that was the.
Oh, that was beam 3. Okay.
Well, 4, I guess. Because there are 6 beams.
Well, yeah, whatever.
6 beams, 12, whatever they call it. Sections. 12 directions. Yeah. I like Jake's little map. Or wait, who drew that map?
Ted, I thought.
No, the first one.
The
first one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that Ted that did that with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
Oh, you're talking about the Fedic map?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back.
Jake. Oh yeah, that is Jake.
And I guess do you guys have pictures in yours? Like every beginning of most chapters?
Yeah.
Like I want an Oi like on a tree branch, and he looks not like I picture him usually. He looks more like a ferret in that one.
I remember looking on Instagram like a bunch of different like Oi drawings just to see like what different people are envisioning, and it is all over the place. So
yeah, it kind of is. It's artist interpretation, right?
Yeah.
So here's Greg in your eye. So he did a shout out to the Dead Zone. I'm not sure why. So do we now have to put the Dead Zone in the Dark Tower?
I mean, I don't think everything like that means something. I think he just likes to call
his own shit. So he said, here's Greg in your eye. That's Nigel that says that, right?
No idea.
Yeah, it is. Chapter 2, The Watcher, at the beginning of that.
Yeah, I haven't read Dead Zone, so.
Yeah, that was my next question. So Dead Zone is, I don't know if I can tell you much about the character without spoiling things. He's like the main, I don't know, bad guy, I guess you'd say, in Dead Zone.
Oh.
Dead Zone is like a guy has a car accident and comes back and he can, like, when he touches people, he has visions of like what they're gonna do. So this guy's a politician and he has a vision of what he's gonna do, and he spends the rest of the book trying to stop him.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I know. I like the Dead Zone. It's actually a Christopher Walken movie. So.
Was it a book or a short story?
That was a book. It was after The Stand. 1979, I think. I wonder if that makes Greg Stilson like a Toadash person. Nigel, I think, is an Asimov robot. There's a little shout out to Isaac Asimov there, I guess. He probably grew up reading him. Apple TV has. You know who Asimov is?
No, I don't.
He's a famous science fiction writer, like Ray Bradbury and
Uh,
Robert Heinlein. Foundation is one of his like main projects. It's like 5 or 6 books. On Apple TV is a thing they're doing.
oh, cool.
I was telling Allie about the Asimov robots, are named after Isaac Asimov, famous science fiction writer, who Apple TV is adapting one of his famous books or series of books called Foundation. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of him. I haven't.
No.
I've read them, but I'm not. Science fiction's okay, but it's at some point it just becomes, just like humans on different somewhere else. And oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
space. There's space out there. It's like a Stephen King book. The monsters are out there. Don't forget. So it's not that much different. He. Oh yeah. So Nigel got compromised by Mordred, basically, but they kind of guessed that.
Yeah.
Did
Tried
Mordred?
his own circuits by trying to not
Yeah,
be
is that,
compromised.
that's what I was gonna say. Is that what happened? He was like trying to resist, and he just didn't have the capacity to do that. So fried his own circuits. Yeah, and by the way that Walter died was pretty damn gruesome.
Ugh, yeah.
We didn't get our confrontation, but the whole now rip your tongue out and hand it to me. It's like, oh, geez, I didn't even like. I didn't get the confrontation I want, but he made it pretty goddamn horrible. It's just the same.
Yeah. Like that was one of the things that I could have lived without reading.
What's the word? It's such an ignominious end for, yeah, like you said, Amber, like one of my favorite bad guys. I think like he's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's always what is it? And I like what's the trope? The villains are always happy and the good guys are always angry.
Yeah.
He's always like running around tittering and like, oh, that guy was having a good time. I want to go follow him around for a couple of books. That's probably not a happy thing, but he's having a good time.
Yeah.
They come across 2 shelves of Stephen King books. I think in like Nigel's behind the pantry. Again, we're always going behind the pantry to get to stuff.
The big pantry.
Yeah, so the new this actually cracked me up. King had been an extremely busy writer since his Bridgeton days appeared. The newest volume was called Hearts in Atlantis and had been published in a year with which they're very familiar, 1999. God, you sneaky bastard. We all know what's in Hearts in Atlantis.
Yep.
I feel like they should have picked that one up and read it since they were going to call it out, right? And 10 might be like, whoa.
Was that really published in 99?
What happened to Callan? I think it actually was. So yeah, that just worked out for him, right? It's one of those cause wheel things. Oh, they said something about fate being a wheel in fairy tale too. See, like everything they say, I can't do it. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or I'm just reading into it. I can't figure that out.
It might also be that he doesn't even realize he's doing it.
True.
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. I don't know that he's doing it on purpose, or he might not be doing anything. I might just be like, every time I see anything even vaguely related, I'm like, oh, there you go.
Well, he repeats things a lot throughout stories, so I have no doubt that he's using the same phrases and doesn't even realize it.
Yeah, like the blue chambray shirts and something with the parkas. He used to do parkas a lot. I never knew what the fuck a parka was, except it only existed in the Stephen King book.
It's not that cold in where we are.
Yeah.
Not like Maine.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was like when you see like the guys doing the sled dog races in Alaska. Like I'm pretty sure they're wearing parkas.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And loons, never saw a loon until, well, recently. I have seen loons now.
Hmm.
But they also only existed in Stephen King movies.
What's funnier to me about loons is that I hear them more in movies now, and I'm like, hey, that's a loon. I don't know what I thought that was before, but it's a loon.
Yeah, it was just like birds before, background noise. You didn't know it was like, wait,
Yeah.
that, like every time I hear that, that's specifically a loon. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, the amount of things that I hear a loon in, and I'm like, I didn't. Are loons native to your state? Like, I
And
don't
give
know
me
where they're native
a
from, but I know them from Maine,
that
and you don't look like you're in Maine.
that's what I mean. I hear them in movies all the time, and I'm like, this isn't a Stephen King movie. This isn't in Maine. What's going on?
yeah, I had no idea. There was several things. Like, yeah, so yeah. The blue chambray shirt's a main thing, or did he just like I need to Google
Might
that. I don't
just
even
be
know what
more
they look like.
prevalent in Maine.
Is that all they wear in Maine? While they're fighting off the loons? Um
I feel like that's like a D-side horror movie somewhere, like fighting off loons.
yeah, like a 1950s Attack of the Killer Loons.
Yep.
They got radioactive and now they're like all 50 feet big. Um uh what I'd show you is much more bizarre than anything we have looked at so far, and I warn you in advance that your first impulse will be to laugh. That's all right. Laugh if you must. Just don't take your eye off what you see, for even in your imagination, here's a creature which can do you damage. Remember, they came from two fathers, both of them killers. So, who's Crimson King killed? I mean, I'm assuming just like millions of people across the world, but you know.
Well, yeah.
Uh, well, I mean, we don't know of anyone. It's an interesting way to look at it. Like, I didn't even think of that. I was like, he came from two fathers, and both of them are killers. So, what are you trying to say? He's going to be a killer, right? Is that where we're going?
Born to be a killer?
All right.
Or maybe that
Well,
he's born to be a really good killer.
I like how he's mentally like an adult, but he's in a baby's body. Like, don't the two kind of go together? Doesn't your mind grow at the pace your body grows?
I
He's
Not
talking about.
necessarily.
Well, that's yes. Rules are different around here. I like how he like morphs back and forth between spider and human. And, like when he's a spider, he doesn't really think about stuff, but like it's almost like he knows just enough to be able to morph back into a human. And
Mhm.
the
Which I feel like
spider,
that also changes as he gets older because, like, when he's listening to them outside of the cave, he's like, there is logical thought there,
yeah, oh,
but
that's
he's
true.
in the spider form.
Eat, roam, rape, kill. Like whoa.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. He's in spider form when he's overhearing a lot of this. Doesn't so maybe he's adapting.
Yeah, when he's listening to him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When they're having their or when they're listening to
the
the
tapes.
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 The tape.
Be so
Um,
like a US or a link.
you know, I was wondering that. Where did the tapes come from? Are they like from 1960, or are they 1999 tapes? I mean, what are we talking about? Because
Well,
yeah,
it's because
like now it would
Eddie
just be like
Eddie didn't
here.
know how to use them, so they must have been
Also, they're
at their
probably like
stuff.
old reel to reel, like I don't even know what to call them. The original tapes.
Yeah.
Um, so they'd be like each spool would be like 10 inches big, and you had to feed one to the other one.
Even for audio? Or
It was for audio. There was no video.
um,
That's what
just
I'm thinking
picture
of.
the like old school real video.
Oh no! Well, no, they're talking. So the audio is separate from the video. They weren't combined back then. So if they're like tapes from when I was a kid, which I'm assuming they would be, because that's what he grew up with too, I think.
Oh, King.
Yeah. The person, not the character.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Well, probably both, but
I feel like there's definitely two separate entities there, or maybe not. I don't know. I is the character just him? I'm not sure. I think it kind of is because we verified. What were we talking about, Amber? I think Robin had in the concordance like, wait, so that actually happened.
that he
Hopefully
lost
not thing.
the outline. Was that what it was?
Yes, that's what it was.
Yes, because we were talking about like at what point did he know like how things were gonna go at the end?
Yeah, we're not ready for that conversation.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you sneaky bastard. When did you know you were going to do that kind of conversation? All right. That is the end of the podcast. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.